Hare Krishna, everyone. So, welcome to the series on Bhakti Rasāmṛta-sindhu. Very happy to be here with all of you. And we will start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
Manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupah kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Share the slides. So, we are doing a pretty detailed study of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, which is presented in English by Srila Prabhupada with the title Nectar of Devotion. So we will recite some of the verses, the dedication by Srila Prabhupada to the Shat Goswamis of Vrindavan through his Shat Goswami Ashtakam. So I'm just thinking, let's do it together, like lead follow. Okay, so some of you or all of you can unmute, lead and follow, not try to be in lead follow format. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi
Krishna
Nartana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi
Dhirajana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako
Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Bhuvi
Bharavantarako
Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako
Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Jiva Gopalako
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Sanstapako
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Sanstapako
Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro
Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro
Padaravindha Bhajana Nandena Taliko.
Radha Krishna Padaravindra Bhajana
Bhajana
Taliko.
Upasanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako.
Vande Rupa Sanatana
Jiva Gopalako.
Good. Memorization verses. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam.
Shunyam
Yanavritam.
Karmadhyanavritam
Yena Krishnano.
Anukulyena Krishnano
Janam Bhaktiruttama.
Sheelanam
Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu
Nirmuktam.
Sarvopadi
Nirmuktam
Nirmalam.
Tatparattvena
Nirmalam
Kesha.
Rishikesa
Tiruchyate.
Sarvam Tiruchyate
Atah Shri Krishna Namadi.
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi
Ved Grahyamindriyai. Ado. Vayam evam Krutyadaha. Nasaktasya Vishayan. Amupayunjataha. Krishna Sambandhe.
Krishna
Sambandhe
Tam Vairagyamuchyate. Okay, wonderful. So we will resume where we left last time. So we are in the second and the most bulky chapter of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, the first division, which is the Eastern division, and within that, in the second wave, which is known as the Dvitiya Lahari, which is Sadhan Bhakti. Okay, so we covered many topics in this. We started off with Sadhan Bhakti as having two limbs or two tracks, Raganuga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti, and now we are into the detailed discussion of Vaidhi Bhakti. So a lot of things were discussed so far. The meaning of Vaidhi Bhakti, the core principle of Vaidhi Bhakti, we will review some of those today. The eligibility for Vaidhi Bhakti, we talked about Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. Sorry. Okay. And then we also talked about the fact that we ended last time on Bhakti and Mukti as being contrary or as being impediments, the desire for Bhakti and Mukti to be impediments against or for Bhakti. So that is the point that we are going to focus on today. So let me go to slide number 136. Okay. The desire for material sense enjoyment, Bhakti and Mukti. So in that place, Bhakti Devi cannot arrive, is what we had discussed. And these are being compared to witches or pishacha because they are unclean and impure. So a desire for sense enjoyment and a desire for liberation. And the main point was that the desire for liberation, now sense enjoyment we understand, that is not conducive to Bhakti, but desire for liberation is also not conducive to Bhakti. Anybody can quickly recap why that is the case? Why desire for liberation or Mukti is not conducive for Bhakti? Raise your hand. Forgotten? Okay, Ananya Mataji and Mansi Ganga Mataji. So we'll just take two responses and move ahead.
Because desire for mukti is it's not anya abhilashita shunyam. It's not. It's still a desire to reach somewhere. So.
Okay, you're very good. Mansi Ganga Mataji.
Pretty much same, Prabhuji. It's not for Krishna. It's for ourselves.
That is very well said. So that is the main point, that mukti in this context is for one's self-pleasure or self-satisfaction, for either removal of suffering or for that eternal bliss, the desire for eternal bliss, because anything material is temporary, comes and goes. Happiness comes and goes, and misery comes and goes. So, but either way, it is for the self, not for Krishna's pleasure. So that is the main point why mukti is not, or desire for mukti or moksha is not conducive for bhakti. So if you have understood this main point, then today's session will make a lot of meaning. So let us go to, now we said we stopped here at this slide we had stopped. So what follows after this, so we covered till 25th verse. What follows is a long list of evidences from Srimad Bhagavatam, 80 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, 26 to 43, and then 44 to 52, actually this is a typo, 9 verses from evidences from many other scriptures. Oh, I'm not sharing, so. Great. Yeah, now I'm seeing Ashish Vyas Prabhu's message that I'm not sharing. You can speak aloud.
I can see now, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I know. But you can speak aloud. Don't wait for me to see the message. I may miss it. So yes, screen sharing is very important. So please alert me if I forget. So what follows after this is a long list of evidences, and it may look like we are going through a lot of verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures, but it is very important to ingrain this fact in our mind, in our heart, that the desire for liberation is also a self-desire, and that is not conducive for bhakti. Now, none of us are desiring for liberation, at least in my case, it is not the case. We are desiring for even something lower than that, which is material sense enjoyment. So, of course, much of this discussion you can think does not apply to us. Hey, I'm not even desiring for liberation. Even if I get liberation, that is already very wonderful outcome or a wonderful accomplishment. But it is also very hard, and it's nowhere in many devotees' horizon. So why are we talking about desire for liberation? Because the point is not, you will see this through our discussion today, the point is not what we are desiring for. The point is the motivation, the intention behind that desire. So like Mansi Ganga Mataji and Anya Mataji said, I'm lowering your hand, okay, Mansi Ganga Mataji, I think it is raised from before. So the main point is the intention behind that desire, whether it is for moksha, whether it is for sense enjoyment, bhukti or mukti. The intention is that it is for something for the self. And that is very prevalent in many of us. Certainly in my case, that is true. And I'm assuming it is true in many people's, many devotees' case. So that is why this discussion is very relevant. Okay, because we are desiring something for the self. And at the highest level, what one can desire for the self is moksha. And therefore, this discussion is linked to moksha. But that is not, please get this fact, that is not the main point. The main point is not moksha. The main point is something very nice for our own self. That is the main point. It happens to be moksha. For many of us, it is bhukti, sense gratification. But for some, it could be moksha. But the common theme across all of that is it is for the self. So, and that makes this discussion important. So let us go through some of the evidences. So we will go through these evidences 26 to 52, and then we will cover more topics today. So today's class will be a little fast, at least I hope so. And I plan to cover a lot of ground. So please pay very careful attention and stay with me. So now Srila Rupa Goswami is going to present all these evidences. Starting from the third canto, you will see he will go very sequentially. He is such an expert at providing these evidences, and just it's like a huge, like a tornado or a tsunami of evidences from canto by canto by canto that Sri Rupa Goswami is providing. Okay. So I have highlighted some of these words. So here, Sri Uddhavji, and I have, in some cases, the translations, most of these translations of these verses from Srimad Bhagavatam are by Srila Prabhupada. But some cases, the translations were very long. So I have taken some portions of it. In some cases, I may have paraphrased. So please excuse me for that. But of course, I have tried that the essence of the meaning is obviously captured. So having said that, this is Sri Uddhavji is speaking that even though the Lord's devotees can easily get the 4 Purusharthas, the devotees of the Lord, okay, they can easily get the 4 Purusharthas. That Sudurlabho Artheshu Chatursha. So the Chatur, the 4 Artheshu or the Arthas, the Chatur Arthas or the 4 Arthas or the 4 Purusharthas. So that is the understanding, which are very Sudurlabh, very hard to obtain. Na ko na ishate pada saroja bhajam. So those who are worshipping or those who are attached to the lotus feet or worshipping bhajam, worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, they are not interested in this very hard to obtain 4 Purusharthas. And one of the 4th one is moksha. So the 4 Purusharthas are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So when he's saying that a devotee is not interested in these 4 Purusharthas, it also includes moksha. So a devotee is not interested in moksha. And Uddhavji says to Lord Krishna, he's saying to Lord Krishna, I only hanker for Sewa at your lotus feet. Bhavat padambhoja nishevana utsukaha. So pada ambuja nishevana, to do Sewa at your pada ambuja, I am utsuk. Utsuk means I am anxious or I am hankering for that. So that is what Uddhavji is saying to Lord Krishna, that I don't want any of the 4 Purusharthas or all of the 4 Purusharthas. I only want Sewa I only want to do Sewa at your lotus feet. Okay, next one. This one, Kapil Dev, who is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he is speaking this verse. And he says, a pure devotee who is attached to the activities of the devotional service and who always engages in the service of my lotus feet. Mat Pada Sewa Abhirata. Abhirat means always engaged. Mat Pada Sewa, who is always engaged in the Sewa of Mat Pada, my lotus feet. Kapil Devji is saying this. Never desires to become one with me. So here he is singling out the impersonal liberation part, where you merge into the Brahman or you merge into the body of the Supreme Lord. Na ekatmatam me sprihyanti. Sprihyanti means having the desire, having the inspiration to do something. That is spriha. Na ekatmatam, eka atmatam, becoming one with the Lord. Kindly mute yourself. So never desire to become one with me. Okay. So these devotees, mat pad seva abhirata na ekatmata me sprihiyanti. Never desire to become one with me. Okay. What do they desire instead? Also is given. Such a devotee who is unflinchingly engaged always glorifies my pastimes and activities. Now I have added this thing with each other. You will see here. Sabha Jayante Mama Paurushani. Sabha Jayante. Jayante means to glorify. Jay we say. Ki Jay. Sabha means in a gathering. That is a sabha. In a sabha Jayante, which means in a gathering of devotees, they discuss Mama Paurushani. Paurushani means my various wonderful activities. Okay. So that is the engagement of the devotees not to become one with the Lord. So another evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-34, third canto. Okay. Now comes a very heavy evidence from the third canto. Again, Lord Kapila is giving these instructions to his mother Devahuti. This verse we had covered earlier. This is a very important verse worth memorizing. And it is a very direct verse. So, and this was covered earlier also. It is the 14th verse, I believe, of the first chapter, Samanya Bhakti. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupya ekatvam apyauta diyamanam na grihanatnanti vina mat sevanam janah. So, what is being said here is that these 5 types of liberation are being talked about here. Salokya means being in the same loka or planet as the Lord. Sarshti means having the same powers, same opulences, same strength, all those things, same opulences as the Lord. Samipya is to be close to the Lord. Wherever the Lord is, to be always close to him. Sarupya means having a same form as the Lord. And ekatvam, in the Devanagari, I have separated it out. Sarupya ekatvam. Apyauta. Diyamanam na grihananti. Even if I want to give diyamanam na grihananti, they don't take it. My devotees don't take it. Vina mat sevanam. If it is without my seva, if it does not have my seva included in it. So what it also means is that if the seva is included, then they will take it. Okay? And later on, it will be said that this ekatvam never has a concept of seva because you are merging into the Lord. So there is no seva, but in the other 4, there is a possibility of seva. When you are close to the Lord, when you are on same planet as him, and so on, there is a possibility of doing seva. So if there is seva component included, then my devotees will accept such a liberation. Okay, so that is what is being said. So what is more important, liberation or seva? The predominating factor is seva.
Seva.
Correct. So that is the point to be noted. The predominating factor is not liberation of salokya, samipya, sarupya, sarshti, but seva. So it is a very important verse, and it directly lists down all the 5 types of liberation. And it is being said that devotees reject it if it does not come with seva of the Lord. Very, very direct verse. Now we come to the 4th canto. 4th canto, there are some very nice pastimes. One of the pastimes is of Dhruva Maharaj. So we will go through it now quickly. So this is 29th verse and 4, 9, 10, canto 4, chapter 9, 10th verse. So I'll ask devotees to read so that we have some engagement. So I'll start from my screen, whoever is video is on. So Ainesa Mataji, could you read the translation?
Dhruva Maharaja, the joy of meditating on your lotus feet, Pada Padma Dhyanat, hearing about your glories, Katha Shravanena, far surpasses the joy of merging into the impersonal Brahman, Brahmani Sva Mahimani.
Thank you. Wonderful. Very nice. So the joy of two things is mentioned here. Either meditating on your lotus feet, Pada Padma Dhyanat, doing dhyana, meditation of your lotus feet, or Katha Shravanena, or hearing your pastimes, far surpasses. Now, I have not included the Sanskrit because it will be too much then to go through all these verses with Sanskrit. So you can look up all these verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam and look at the Sanskrit, look at the word by word meaning, translation, everything. So far surpasses the joy of merging into the impersonal Brahman. So I'm not going to share the story of Dhruva Maharaj and all, otherwise each verse will take one class. Okay, but I am assuming you all know the story of Dhruva Maharaj, that he was declined to sit on the lap of his father by his stepmother Suruchi. And then he went crying to his mother, Suniti, and she said that, only by prayer to Lord Vishnu, you can, he only can make everything happen. So he asked, where is Lord Vishnu? Then she said, he is in the forest. So he goes to the forest. There he meets Narad Muni, his guru. First, he tries to dissuade this young boy. And then he sees that the boy is very serious. He gives him a mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And this young boy, 5-year-old, does very serious dhyana of Lord Vishnu using this mantra. And within 6 months, the Lord appears in front of him. And he wanted a bigger kingdom than his father. But upon seeing the Lord, he speaks this verse, that the joy of meditating on your lotus feet and hearing your glories, I don't want a kingdom, I don't want any of those things, I don't even want liberation. Brahmani Swa Mahimani, all I want is to hear your glories and to meditate on your feet. Then there is another verse by Prithu Maharaj. Now we are going to the 30th verse, still in 4th canto. So let us see. Ramakant Prabhuji, can you please read?
The joy of meditating on your lotus feet.
Next one.
Padma Dhyana. Oh, sorry. Prithu Maharaja. I do not wish to merge into your existence, as there is no nectar of your lotus feet. Karan Ambuja Aswan.
Charana Ambuja.
Or hearing about your glories from pure devotees. Instead, give me 1,000,000 ears to hear your glories.
Very nice. So Charana Ambuja Asavaha. So to relish the shelter of your lotus feet, Charana Ambuja. And also he says about hearing your glories. And hearing the glories, he says that if you have to give me something, give me 1,000,000 ears. With 2 ears, I can only hear 2 stories at most. We can only hear 1 story from 2 ears. But because you have 2, maybe you can hear 2. But that is still only 2. Why not 1,000,000? So like that, there are all these wonderful, nice YouTube videos, various classes by devotees. I feel like, only 24 hours in a day. So how can I see all those YouTube videos by all these nice devotees, all the classes? I should have, 1,000 hours in a day instead of 24. So because all these wonderful katha is going on, I only can absorb so much. So that is the mood of Prithu Maharaj. Give me 1,000,000 ears, ears to hear your katha. Now, very nice point is made by Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarthy Thakura. He says, what is the origin, this nectar, he says about, I want to hear this, there is no nectar. If I merge into your existence, there is no nectar of your lotus feet. So nectar means the stories are being referred to as the nectars, the katha of the Lord. What is the origin of this nectar and where it is available from? So I like this sentence very much. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarthy Thakura says, this nectar originates, the origin of the nectar is the heart of the pure devotees. So this nectar of Krishna Katha originates in the heart. And where does it come out from? From the mouth of the pure devotees. So the origin is the heart and the exit point is the mouth. So we should be ready to catch it as soon as it comes out of their mouth, we should catch it and put it into our ears. So these are another 2 verses. Okay, next 2 verses. Now we are going into the 5th canto. So 5th canto, there is the pastime. It starts with the pastime of Bharat Maharaj. First, it starts with the pastime that the dynasty of Bharat Maharaj before him, and wonderful instructions by his father, Lord Rishabhdev, and then the pastime of Bharat Maharaj. So I have not put the translation of the verse. Probably it was long or whatever, but the summary is that Bharat Maharaj gave up everything, and that too at a young age. He was not very old. He was relatively young. If he wanted, he could have continued in his grihastha life. He was the king of the whole planet. And he gave up his kingdom, his wife, children, everything he gave up simply to serve Lord Madhusudana. Even liberation was insignificant for him. That is the essence of this verse 5.14.44. So I have just captured the essence in a few bullets. If you are interested, you can go look at it. So again, the point is that even liberation was insignificant for him. He simply wanted to serve the feet of Lord Madhusudana. So you can see over and over again that the Sewa component, Vina mat sevanam janah, that was the verse. So always in all these verses, we will see that the Sewa component or the Sewa aspect is emphasized, and the desire for Mukti or Moksha is being completely rejected. So that is Bharat Maharaj. Of course, later on he gets attached to a deer, and then he takes a deer's body and then becomes Jada Bharat and then goes back to the spiritual world. Now we go into 6th canto, and there is the wonderful story of Vritrasura. He's a demon, and Srimad Bhagavatam calls it as Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. So because he's a great demon, he's a devotee. From bodily angle, he's a demon, but at heart, he is a devotee. And later on, there'll be a verse by Chitraketu Maharaj. So he is a reincarnation, or in next life, Chitraketu Maharaj becomes Vritrasura, because Chitraketu Maharaj had offended Lord Shiva, and Mother Parvati cursed him that may you become a demon in the next life. But as Chitraketu Maharaj, he did not intend to curse. He was just making a remark, but Mother Parvati took it a little bit more seriously and ended up cursing him. So at heart, he was a devotee, but because the curse said, the shrap said you should become or you will become a demon, he took a body of a demon, but at heart, he was a pure devotee, Pakka devotee. So this is also the scenario, just like Prahlad or Bali Maharaj. At heart, they are pure devotees, but body-wise, they are in a body of a demon. So here he is, so as a demon, because of their nature, they fight with the devatas, they fight with the demigods. Just also like Bali Maharaj, he captured the kingdom of Indra, Swarga. So that is the nature, but that is the Drishtaihi Subhav Janitai Vapushascha Doshesh. We have this verse in Nectar of Instruction or Upadeshamritam. So, sometimes the bodily swabhava causes people to do things, but at heart, one should never judge a pure devotee. Gangam bhasam na khalu budbudha phena pankai brahma dravatvam gacchati nira dharmai. That one, even though the Ganga's waters may appear to be dirty, but it is still the Ganga, the pure Ganga. So he's a pure devotee at heart, and he's fighting with Indra. And this verse occurs, 6:11:25, Canto 6, Chapter 11, 25th verse, occurs during the fight of Vritrasura with Indra, and he wants to be killed fast. So he's telling Indra, why are you waiting? Kill me fast so that I can go to the spiritual world. I'm waiting to go to the Lord, my Lord. So, let's finish this fight soon. So he says, I do not want liberation if I have to give up your association. The word here is na yoga siddhir apunar bhavam va. So apunar bhavam means freedom from repeated birth and death, which is liberation. He's saying, I don't want that. I obviously don't want yoga siddhis. Yoga siddhis means mystic powers. So I don't want that, but I don't want liberation or freedom from birth and death. That is apunarabhavam. Okay. And also what is mentioned here is that samanjasatva virahya kankshe, virahya, tva virahya. That means that I cannot remain separated from you. If I have to give up the virah, some of you may understand the word virah means separation. So that if I have to give up your association or give up being with you, I don't want any of these things. My association with the Supreme Lord is the most important, is what Vritrasura is saying here. Okay, then in the 6th canto, then the canto is progressing. Parikshit Maharaj asks Shukadev Goswami, how did this great devotee be born as a demon? Then Shukadev Goswami goes into a flashback and tells the story of Chitraketu Maharaj. So that is how this next episode after Vritrasur happens to be Chitraketu Maharaj to explain how Vritrasur was born as a demon. Such a devotee was born in there as a demon. So this is a picture, oh sorry, I should have shown before. This is Vritrasur demon and Indra on his Airavat elephant. And they are fighting. And that is when Vritrasur says this verse. Okay. Next one is, so as I told you, Maharaj Chitraketu, there is a longer story about how his son dies, and then Narad Muni and Angira Muni come and revive his son. All that story we have discussed a couple of last year or 2 years back. But anyway, Chitraketu Maharaj is in bliss later on, and one time he sees Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to a group of sages, and Mother Parvati is sitting on his lap. So Chitraketu Maharaj points it out that, see, Lord Shiva is such a avadhuta. He is so detached that even though Mother Parvati is sitting on his lap, he is like, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. But it may not be a good thing for other people may misunderstand. He made a comment like this. Mother Parvati got offended and she cursed Chitraketu Maharaj to become a demon. Chitraketu Maharaj could have offered some explanation or, countered the curse, but he simply accepted the curse and he bowed down to Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati and left. He accepted the fact that next life he will become a demon. Then Lord Shiva is speaking this verse to Mother Parvati, pointing out the wonderful qualities of a devotee. He is telling Mother Parvati, see, such a nice devotee, you should not have cursed him. But it's okay, whatever has happened, but he is glorifying the quality of Chitraketu Maharaj. So there he says that pure devotees of Lord Narayana are never afraid. So, one could get afraid, oh, next life I'll become a demon. But they are never afraid. Hell, heaven, or even liberation is the same if they can serve the Lord. So again, if they can serve the Lord, then it doesn't matter where they are, whether in hell, heaven, or in some kind of liberation. So that is the another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about serving the Lord. Then later on, there is the story of Indra and Diti and all. So again, so let's see. Shalu Mataji, could you please read this?
Sure, Prabhuji. Although those who are interested only in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not desire anything material from the Lord and do not even want liberation, Lord Krishna fulfills all their desires.
So these are direct translations. Thank you, Mataji. So these are direct translations of Srimad Bhagavatam verses. So you can see here, I have not included some Sanskrit anywhere here in this particular one or the previous one, but you can always go and look up. So it says that they do not even want liberation. Okay, they are only interested in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is also another form of Sewa. Worship to the Lord is Sewa. And they do not want liberation. So there is the picture of Indra. Okay, now comes Canto 7. So who is the great devotee of Canto 7?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, very nice. So we have Prahlad Maharaj's point. So this is Canto 7, 6th chapter, 25th verse, Prahlad Maharaj. So he says, so let's see. Shambhavi Mataji, could you please read this?
Prabhuji, you said my name?
No, I said Shambhavi.
We devotees always glorify the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore we need not ask for everything in terms of dharma, kama, artha, and moksha.
Thank you, Mataji. Next, you can go, Shameshwari Mataji, but okay. So we devotees always glorify the lotus. So this is Prahlad Maharaj talking to his classmates, even though he has been warned not to pollute, quote unquote, pollute the mind of his classmates. But he is, he doesn't, he's not afraid. So he's teaching his classmates that, we don't ask for dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, but we always want to glorify the lotus feet of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj is in bliss. Later on, of course, he's tortured by his father and all that. Here you can see this picture where he's being burnt in the fire, but the fire goddess comes and protects him. Okay, so that is Prahlad Maharaj. And then later on, again, 7th canto itself, when Narsinghadev appears and he kills, so I have this picture, and he kills Hiranyakashipu. So then all the demigods, all the devatas are glorifying Lord Narsinghadev. So this is a verse by Indra to Lord Narsinghadev. So Shameshwari Mataji, could you please read this?
Yes, O Lord, for those who always engage in your service, which is more exalted than liberation, all material opulence is insignificant. They do not even care for liberation, not to speak of the benefits of kama, artha, and dharma.
Thank you, Mataji. So again, very similar point, that they don't even care for moksha or liberation. What to say about dharma, artha, kama? Okay. And these are the devotees, the pure devotees who are always engaged in your service, in your seva. Okay. So we will continue to 8th chapter. So what is the big one of, or couple of pastimes in 8th chapter, but one of the big ones? Canto. Sorry, 8th canto. Okay, let's see. Are there any questions on the chat? Yeah, there is a question. So let me read out the question. In the meantime, you can think what are the pastimes of 8th canto. So what is the connection between personal union / association and seva? Sometimes it seems like devotees only want seva. Sometimes, like in Brhad Bhagavatamrta, their pain is unbearable without personal association. Very nice question. This question, if we get a little bit ahead in today's class, we will answer this question. So I request you, Sai Prabhu, to hold this question for a little bit later today, and we will answer. And if it is still not answered, please bring it up again. All right. Yes, Ramakant Prabhu, you have a question?
No, it's not question. You asked the question, which is 8th canto. That is Gajendra Moksha, I think. Gajendra Moksha.
Very nice. Gajendra is one pastime in 8th canto. Another pastime of 8th canto?
Dhruva Sumuniva and Ambrish Maharaj.
No, that is 9th one. So 8th canto, another big pastime is Bali Maharaj. Okay. So anyway, so that is nice. So this one is actually about Gajendra. Now, in the spirit of going little fast through the class, I am not even capturing the summary, because essentially the summary is the same, where Gajendra is speaking to the Lord. First, he wanted to get relief for his misery. He was in great misery of being killed by the crocodile, because the crocodile was in home territory, home ground. So he had home ground advantage in the water. And there was a big struggle between Gajendra, who was the king of the elephants. Had he been outside the water, he would have been fine, but in the water, the crocodile is the king. So he was suffering very much. But when he saw the Lord, when he was praying to the Lord, then he said, what am I praying for? Just for one more life or extension of this present life? That is so useless. So all he wanted was desire to serve the Lord. And that is whether in this life as the elephant or any other life. What is the point? This elephant life is not the most glorious life anyway. So what am I asking for extending this, kind of like a mediocre life of an elephant? It is very useless. So again, he said, I don't even want liberation. So no desire for liberation and desire for Sewa is what is the content of this verse. 9th canto. This is a very important verse. So I have included the verse here, but not the translation. It is fairly straightforward. This is Durvasa Muni, 9th canto, 4th chapter, where Durvasa Muni has offended a great pure devotee of Lord Vishnu, which is Ambarish Maharaj, where Ambarish Maharaj was, Durvasa Muni came, but he was fasting for 1 year. The time for fast breaking happened, and Durvasa Muni went to take a bath. But the muhurta, or the time, was passing to break the fast. But you were not supposed to eat anything before feeding the guest. So he was in a dilemma, how long to wait, because he's not coming back yet. So his Brahmanas advisors advised him to take 1 drop of water. So he says 1 drop of water doesn't mean you have offended your guest. You have not had anything to eat. It's just 1 drop of water, and the fast will also be broken. But when Durvasa Muni came to know that that's what he has done, he got very mad. He was a very angry person. So he cursed Ambarish Maharaj to die. He created a demon on the spot to go kill him. But he was not aware that the devotee is always protected by the Lord. Just like Prahlad, he was always protected by the Lord. So the Sudarshan Chakra was protecting Ambarish Maharaj, and the Sudarshan Chakra ran behind Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni was running away from Sudarshan Chakra. And finally he goes to meet Lord Narayan, saying, it is your Sudarshan Chakra, isn't it? So why don't you only please request, I beg you, I ask forgiveness. Please, I am sorry. Please relieve me of this misery of Sudarshan Chakra. And that is when Lord Narayan speaks some very excellent verses, starting from 63rd verse. This is 67th. That set of 8 or 9 verses from 63 to 71. 9 verses is like some of the best verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. And among that, one of these has been chosen here to show this. Mat sevaya pratitam te salokyadi chatushtayam na ichhati sevaya purnaha kuto anyat kala viplutam. So what it means is that mat sevaya pratitam te, one who is fully engaged and fully absorbed and fully satisfied in my seva. Salokya Adi, again, Salokya Adi means all the ones, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, etc. Chatush, the 4. Here in this verse, even that Sayujya or Ekatvam is not even included. It is only talking about the 4 personal types of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sarshti. Na ichhati. Na ichhati means they don't desire it. What do they desire? Sevaya purnaha. All they want to do is full-time seva. Nothing else. That is their ichha, not this ichha. Kuto anyat kala viplutam. What to speak of some temporary kala viplutam means temporary benefits. Like you are asking for your life. Your present life is a temporary body. So he's kind of, Lord Vishnu is pulling a little sarcasm on Durvasa Muni, saying, you are asking for a temporary extension of your present body. My devotees don't even want that. So he's kind of like, कहते हैं ना हिंदी में भिगो के मारना. So then finally he says, yes, Sudarshan Chakra is mine, but it is not in my control. What to speak of Sudarshan Chakra? Even I am not in my own control. I am in control of my devotee. And so is the Sudarshan Chakra. It is also in the control of my devotee. You go to him. He only can do something. So then Ambarish Maharaj goes to, I have a picture here. So here Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni is begging, you can see falling on the feet of Lord Narayan and begging him to save him. But then he says, go to Ambarish Maharaj. If he wants, he can save you. Okay, then we come from 9th canto to 10th canto, the most beautiful canto, the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. And in that 16th chapter is the Kaliya Daman. So, where the Lord defeats Kaliya, and the Nagapatnis, they are devotees. They understand the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna. So they are saying, please, save the life. Please spare the life of our husband. So the Nagapatnis are praying to Lord Krishna, saying the same thing, that you are the supreme Lord and your devotees always want to serve you. They do not even want liberation. Then towards the end of 10th canto, so there's the picture I found, Nagapatnis praying to Lord Krishna when he was standing on the head of Kaliya. Then the personified Vedas praying to Lord Krishna, where they are also saying the same thing. This is one of the last chapters, 87th chapter of 10th canto. Okay, then we go to two very nice verses from Uddhav Gita, 11th canto. So see, we are sequentially coming from 3rd canto, 4th. So let's quickly revise 3rd canto, which pastimes we covered. Kapil Dev and Uddhav Ji speaking. Then 4th canto, what did we cover? Two pastimes, two verses we covered from two pastimes.
Prithu Maharaj.
Prithu Maharaj, very nice. And one more.
Bharat Maharaj.
No, Bharat Maharaj is in 5th canto.
Dhruva Maharaj.
Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva.
Okay, then 5th canto, Mataji already said, Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj.
Then 6th canto, we covered 2. And in fact, we covered 3.
Vritrasura.
Vritrasura. And Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva.
Chitraketu
Maharaj.
And 3rd? Indra.
Indra.
Okay, then 7th canto, very famous.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. And again, Indra, after he had killed, after Lord Narsingdev killed Hiranyakashipu. Okay,
Yeah.
in 9th canto, 8th canto.
Gajendra and Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj we did not cover. But yes, that is a pastime in 8th canto.
Gajendra.
Lord Gajendra. And 9th canto?
Lord Vishnu.
Durvasa Muni, Ambarish Maharaj.
Durvasa Muni, Ambarish Maharaj.
Yes. And 10th canto?
Nagapatni.
Lord Krishna.
Nagapatnis and?
Lord Krishna.
Kaliya Daman.
Kaliya.
And one more? Personified Vedas. The Vedas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we are in 11th canto. And this is both these two verses from 11th canto. They are both from Uddhav Gita. So let us see. Who is that? Lakshmi Prasad Prabhu. Can you read the translation, please?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Because my devotees possess saintly behavior and deep intelligence, they completely dedicate themselves to me and do not desire anything besides me. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it.
Thank you. Very nice. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, na apunarabhavan, kaivalyam apunarabhavam. So, na is the na vachantya api maya dattam. Kaivalyam apunarbhavam. So, apunarbhavam is, like we discussed earlier, same word, that liberation from apunarbhavan, coming back and back. Apunarbhavam, always coming back, which means always taking birth in one body after another. So the cycle of birth and death, apunarbhavan, no more cycle of birth and death. So it means liberation from cycle of birth and death. What kind of liberation? Kaivalyam, which means the impersonal liberation. Na vachanti, which means they don't want it. Api maya dattam, even if I want to give, Are bhai le lo, please take it. They say, no, thank you. I don't want it. So that is the meaning of this verse. Then another verse from Shri Uddhav Gita. So Shri Murari Prabhuji, can you please read?
Next. One who has fixed his consciousness on me desires neither the position or abode of Lord Brahma or Lord Indra, nor an empire on the earth, nor sovereignty in the lower planetary systems, nor the eightfold perfection of yoga, nor liberation from birth and death. Such a person desires me alone.
Oh, very nice. So nor liberation from birth and death. Such a person desires me alone. What kind of person? One who has fixed his consciousness on me. All right. So final, we go to 12th canto. And, oh, what happened here? Wrong number, 10, typo. So this is not 10th canto. This is 12th canto, 10th chapter. Okay. So Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati, I need to fix the slide. It's not 10th canto. So about Markandeya Rishi. So Markandeya was a small boy and he was very dedicated to the worship of Lord Hari. So there, Lord Shiva is just showing to Mother Parvati, look at this wonderful devotee boy, Markandeya. So let us see. Medha Mataji, can you please read the English translation?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Surely this saintly Brahmana does not desire any benediction, not even liberation itself, for he has attained pure devotional service unto the inexhaustible personality of Godhead.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So na eva ichhati moksham. So he does not desire moksha. Na ichhati. Bhaktim param bhagavati labdvan. So all he labdvan means he desires. What does he desire? Bhaktim param bhagavati purushe avyaye, to the supreme person. So that's what this boy desires. That's what Lord Shiva is telling Mother Parvati. All right. So that concludes the evidences from Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Sri Rupa Goswami doesn't stop there at Srimad Bhagavatam. And now he goes into this wonderful verse from Damodar Ashtakam. We just concluded the Kartik month and singing Damodar Ashtakam. So there is this beautiful verse from Sri Damodar Ashtakam. Would anybody like to sing it in a nice tune? I see Bhakti-ras Mataji there. Could you please, I know Mataji, you sing well.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Param deva moksham na moksham vadim va na chanyam raneham vare sadapiha idam teva purnatha gopal balam sada me manasya virastam kemanye.
Thanks so much, Mataji. Wonderful. So let us see the translation. So let's see. Makarand Prabhu, can you read the translation, please?
It's 4.
Yes, this one.
Yeah. O Divine Lord, although you are competent to grant any boon, now I don't cherish liberation, nor life in Vaikuntha, nor any other privilege. O Lord, be always present in my mind as Bal Gopal in Vrindavan. What will then be the value of any other blessing?
Very nice. Thank you. So, Varam Deva Moksham Na Moksha Vadhimva. So, this is a prayer in Padma Puran in the Kartik Masa Mahatmya section. So, in the Padma Puran, there is a whole section on Kartik Mas Mahatmya, on the glories of Kartik month. And within that Kartik Mahatmya, there is a Damodar Ashtakam. So, in the Padma Puran, and Sri Rupa Goswami is quoting from there. So, Satyavrat Muni is speaking this Kartik Mas Mahatmya. And he is saying that Varam Deva Moso, he has, in his heart, he has seen these pastimes of the Lord, and he's saying, I don't want any moksha. Varam Deva Moksham na moksha avadhim va. I don't want any type of moksha. What he wants? Something very simple. Idam te vapur natha gopala balam. This vapu, this form of gopala balam, sada me manasya avirastam kim anyay. Nothing else. Kim anyay. He's adding a special emphasis. It's not like I want this form to be there in my heart and I want something else. He is saying, I want nothing else. All I want is sada me manasya avirastam. Let this form, Gopala Balam Vapu, be always in my heart. May I never forget it. May I never lose this form. So that is what a devotee wants. Another verse from Shri Damodar Ashtakam. Who would like to sing it, please? I don't know who else could sing, but one of you kindly.
I can do, Prabhu.
Yes, please. Yes. Damodar Krishna Prabhu, please do.
Uveratma jaubada muteva yadvat Toya muchitau bhakti bhajau kratau cha Tatha prema bhaktim swakame prayacha Namokshe graho mesti namudareha.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let us see. Renuka Mataji, could you please read the translation?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
O Damodara, while tied to the mortar, you redeemed the two sons of Kuvera and granted them bhakti. Similarly, bestow all on me your prema bhakti, but I shall not accept liberation. Hare Krishna.
Na mokshe graho me sti Damodara. My dear Lord Damodar, this moksha, please keep it to yourself. I don't want it. So this moksha is not for me. What I want, tatha prema bhaktim, swakame prayacha. Your sakama, your prema bhakti, not somebody else's prema bhakti. Your prema bhakti, me prayacha. That is what I want. Okay, not moksha and all those things. Please don't bother me with these moksha and other things. So that is what Satyavrat Muni is praying to Lord Damodar. Okay. All right. Now, again, quickly, we will go through forward. So, Haya Shirsha Pancharatra, that is a scripture. And there is Shri Narayana Vyuhastava. So, let us see. Who else is there? Surya Narayan Prabhu, could you please read this translation? First one.
O Lord, bestower of benedictions, I don't pray for dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. I desire only service to your lotus feet. I offer my respects.
Keep going.
I offer my respects to Prahlada, who asked only for devotion. He did not pray to Vishnu for liberation, even though the Lord wanted to give many benedictions.
All right. So same mood, same theme is there. Okay.
Okay.
So next, very, very wonderful devotee of the Lord. No story of devotees is complete without Hanumanji or Prahlad Maharaj. Two very, very, topmost devotees in all the scriptures. So Hanumanji says a couple of very nice, or one of the verses is from a devotee of Hanumanji. These are from some unknown scriptures, but Rupa Goswami is quoting them, so they become bona fide. He's putting his stamp of authority on these verses. So, Indrapal Prabhu, are you able to read this translation? You are muted.
Yes. I offer my respects to Hanumanji, who did not want liberation, which Rama could easily give, but instead wanted servitude.
Very nice. Thank you. So, na icchan moksham. Okay. And vina dasyam. So this is again having the same kind of mood, that moksha without dasyam, without service. Dasya means to do seva. Das does seva to Prabhu, to master. So na icchan moksham vina dasyam. Tasmai Hanumate Namaha. So the devotee of the Lord Hanuman is saying, I pay obeisances to Hanumanji, who does not want liberation. Next one. Okay, I think all those who had the camera are done. Anybody else, let us see, would like to read? Yes, Vidagdha Madhav Prabhu, please. You are muted.
Sorry, Prabhu. I offer my respects to Hanumanji, who did not want liberation.
Next one.
Sorry. I do not desire liberation that cuts the bondage of material life, because in that state of liberation, awareness that you are the master and I am the servant disappears.
Very important point here. Very, very important point. So, Hanumanji is saying this. Bhava bandha chidde tasyai sprihyami na muktaye. So, I don't want any desire. I don't have any desire for mukti. Sprihyami means desire, inspiration for mukti. I do not want. And he's giving the reason for that. The reason for that is Bhavan Prabhur Aham Dasam. This, you are Prabhu, I am Das. Right? This relationship, this concept of you are Prabhu, I am Das, iti yatra vilupyate, it disappears. This concept disappears in this kind of a mukti. So that is what he read. Awareness, or this concept that you are the master, you Prabhu, aham das, and I am the servant, disappears. Vilupyate, lupt ho jata hai. Oops. Okay. So, a very important point I want to bring out here, very, very important, okay, is Sewa. So, I will say something more about it later. And I think this is related to the question by Sai Prabhu. Is he still here? Yes. So, yeah. So, like I said, personal association is very nice and it is very important. But the overriding factor is Sewa. Okay. Without Sewa, a devotee never wants personal association. Always he is looking for Sewa. Whether the Sewa is with personal association or without personal association, Sewa comes first. So, a very important point to note here, which we will discuss if time permits today later, little bit, is to find your Sewa. Find the Sewa that you enjoy to do. So, today morning in Hari Parshad Prabhu's class, I was hearing, he gave this very nice story or pastime about Hanumanji and Lord Ram. I thought it is very nice. I'll share it with you. So, one time in Ayodhya, so I have that over here. So we will let's go to this slide actually, and then we'll come back to this Narad Pancharatra. Let's go in sequence. So let us see. So there is one more verse, and then I will come to that pastime of Hanumanji. Okay. So 3 verses, 50, 51, 52. 2 are from Narad Pancharatra, and 1 more from Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto. So again, I'm not quoting the Narad Pancharatra, but the essence is the same. And let us quickly see this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So anybody would like to read the translation, please?
O great sage, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful are extremely rare.
Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
So, though there may be many who desire for liberation or who are already liberated, Not every such person is a person who has love, who has prema for the Lord, okay, or wants to do seva to the Lord. So the seva component is more rare and therefore more special. So now let us come to this point of Hanumanji that I was sharing. So there are Shri Vishvanatha Chakravarthy Thakura, SVCT stands for Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarthy Thakura, in his purport to one of the previous verses, but I am putting it now here because after going through all these evidences, we went through almost 20 verses of evidences, 20 plus. What are the 3 reasons he quotes why devotees do not desire impersonal moksha? Who can tell me any one reason, just one topmost reason? There are 3, but there is essentially one.
No service.
Perfect. That is the main point. It lacks seva, and especially you might have seen many places to the lotus feet of the Lord, but any seva, though it has been said padam bhuja or charana padma, like lotus feet. So pada, charana, all these words may have been used, but it is seva to the lotus feet of the Lord. And also in impersonal moksha. So what is this being discussed? Is impersonal moksha, what are the problems? Why devotees don't want it? Because there is no perception of the beauty of the Lord. In impersonal moksha, one has merged with the Supreme Lord. One is like in a dormant or a sleeping state in spiritual bliss. So, but there is no activity as such. There is individuality. One doesn't lose his individuality, but one is not in a very active state. Again, these are just words. I agree. So don't ask me to clarify more. What does it mean and all that? These are very deep concepts. But the point is that there is lack of activity and lack of seva, and therefore the lack of perception or to enjoy, not enjoy, but rather relish the beauty of the Lord, or to relish or taste the pastimes of the Lord. So these are the things that are missing in impersonal liberation. But the main point is that seva is a constant theme. So seva, you might have seen everywhere, in almost every verse there is seva. And you can see here, Hanumanji is sitting at the feet of Lord Ram. And during Ram Sabha, this is after Lord Ram has been coronated. And there are so many people serving him. So don't you ever think, what is Hanumanji doing here? What seva he has?
Charan Seva. Charan Seva.
Ram Japa.
All right.
Ram Japa.
Okay. But that
Pada Seva.
Pada Seva, okay. But that he can, okay. So others can also do Pada Seva.
Yeah.
So there is a nice story. Go ahead.
To clap when Lord Ram would, I think, take snore.
Yes.
When Lord
Surrendering himself.
One of the,
when Lord yawns, he has to.
So one of the things that goes is that when Lord Ram was searching for Mother Sita and so on, lot of seva opportunity was there. And Hanumanji did maximum seva, as much as was asked, and he could have done more. So he did full seva of Lord Ram. But after coming back to Ayodhya, there are so many people to do seva. So the story goes that one time, all the people conspired against Hanumanji and to kind of, tease him. So one day they told him, from today onwards, we have created a seva roster. Now you might have seen rosters created for seva and all. And all the seva will happen according to the roster. Okay, fine. So Hanumanji went and looked at the roster and his name was not there. So because all these other devotees were trying to, pull his leg, so they did not put his name. So, but a very important point is to be noted here. Hanumanji is the greatest devotee of Lord Ram. And Hanumanji is also very intelligent. So devotees are not fools, or they are not dumb, or you're not supposed to put your intelligence outside on the shelf. You're supposed to use it. Whatever God has given intelligence, use it. So Hanumanji understood these guys are like trying to pull a trick on me, but he outsmarted them. So he went through the whole list and he found one seva which was missing. He said, when Lord Ram will yawn, there will be no one to click the fingers. Typically, when you yawn, so somebody has to, click the finger. So he said, why should Lord Ram click his own fingers? I will click for him. Whenever and he can yawn anytime. There is no particular schedule for yawning, is it? So I have to be there always with him. And I have to be near him, so that as soon as he yawns, I will click my fingers. So he came up, that Sewa is not in the list. So that Sewa got added to the list and he put his name next to it. So like that, he is sitting next to Lord Ram for such a simple Sewa. Okay, but anyway, this is like a funny story. I don't know if it is a part of any shastra or not. But the point it conveys is that you need to find your Sewa. Hanumanji wanted to do some Sewa for Lord Shri Ram. Some Sewa, and better to be close to him and do it. That's fine. So he came up with a Sewa. Nobody can argue that that Sewa is not needed. And you find the Sewa that you enjoy to do and you do it. Okay? And that doesn't interfere or that doesn't offend other devotees. So he found a Sewa which he could do. And he started doing it for the Lord. The overriding factor was his love for the Lord and his desire to do some Sewa. Whatever Sewa, if he had to bring a mountain, he brought a mountain. He jumped over an ocean or simply clicking his fingers. The kind of Sewa was irrelevant for him. The Sewa bhav was what was the most important for him, and he would never let go himself without any Sewa. That is the point to be noted from this episode. Okay, so now I want to see, let's see, 6:20. I want to go through a review of where we are heading in this chapter. We are heading into some of the core portion of this chapter, okay, and which will be very, very practical for your life, for your bhakti. So please pay careful attention. We spent almost 1 hour, 15-20 minutes trying to look at all the evidences. Now comes the summary or the whole sort of putting it together in one sort of a cohesive structure. So we'll start from the very beginning of Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, where we start with the 11th verse. What is the 11th verse? Anyabhilashita shunyam. So who can recite the verse along with meaning? I want somebody to tell the verse and give like little bit understanding of each portion of the verse. Who can do that? It's okay if you are a little bit wrong or don't feel afraid. At a high level, it should match.
I can try, Prabhuji.
Great. Yes, Mataji. Thank you for stepping up. Go ahead.
Anyabhilasita shunyam.
Jnana
karmadi anavitam.
Anukulyena
Krishnanu. Anukulyena Krishnanu. Silanam Bhaktir Uttama.
Okay, very good. So what does Anyabhilashita Shunyam mean?
Anyabhilasita Shunyam. Shunyam means it's a negative, not Prabhuji. Anyabhilasha. So no material desires.
No material desires, or technically no desires at all. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam.
Yeah.
No other desires. Okay?
Yeah.
Now we say material desires because the next line says Jnana Karmadi Anavritam.
Yeah.
That one is talking about the spiritual desire or of Jnana Yoga, etc., of getting liberation through Jnana, etc. Then
right.
line?
Yeah.
Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. What does that mean?
Anukulya means favorable, and Anukulyena, basically Anukulyena Krishna, it's a word, Anukulyena Krishna, which is favorable for Krishna. Anusilanam, all, I think, always or everything, Prabhuji.
Continuous service.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Very good. So the point, okay, thank you, Mataji, thanks. So we start with this Anukulya, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, which means no other desire other than to do favorable, with a favorable mind, to do service to Lord Krishna. Okay, so that is where we started our Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. Then it was clarified in the 14th verse. Just 3 verses later, this verse was spoken from Bhagavatam. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupya ikvatam atpyota diyamanam na grihananti vinamat sevanam jana. That a devotee does not even want liberation. It was clarified right afterwards. That jnana karmadi anavritam and anukulyana, anya abhilashita shunyam also includes any kind of liberation also is not acceptable to a devotee as long as the Sewa in it does not exist. So that's where we went next. Then we'll go to the second chapter. Of course, then there were the 6 characteristics of Bhakti. Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Laghutakrit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Krishna Karshini Chasa. So there are the 6 characteristics, but that we discussed. But then we go into the discussion of Sadhan Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti, that Tasmat kenapi upayena manah Krishne niveshayet. That somehow or the other, by this or that means, Tasmat kenapi upayena, by whatever means, fix your mind on Krishna. So that's where it was the Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu took us. So always have singular desire to do Sewa of Krishna, not even moksha, not even impersonal or personal liberation, let alone anything else. Only Sewa of Krishna. And while we are trying to practice, the sadhan is our practice stage, or as a beginner, somehow or the other fix your mind on Krishna. And then a logic was given, which is using your intelligence. So even though there are rules, okay, vidhi, nishedha. Vidhi means rules, nishedha means regulations, don'ts, do's and don'ts. The overriding principle is smartavya satatam Vishnur. Always remember Vishnu, vismartavyo na jatuchit, and never forget him. Same concept, tasmat kenapi upayena manah Krishne niveshayet. Same thing. Always try to remember Vishnu, or always try to focus your mind on Vishnu or Krishna. So that was what was spoken. Then it was spoken that bhakti is for everyone. Okay, even those who have some material attachments, no problem. You are eligible for bhakti. Bhakti is for you. All right. And then the question was, bhakti is greater even than moksha. Even that was stated earlier. Now the why is given. Why is bhakti greater than moksha? Because moksha is for self-pleasure. Either relief from material misery or for permanent happiness. This verse from Bhagavad Gita was quoted, that Chaturvidha bhajante mam, that 4 types of people come to me. Sukritno Bharatarshabha, Arto Jigyasu Artharthi, Jnani cha Bharatarshabha. So these 4 types of people come to me, but ultimately they are desiring something for themselves. So that is a lower level of approaching Krishna, but bhakti is the highest level. So bhakti is so now we are getting very deep into the what is bhakti. Bhakti is purely for Krishna's pleasure. There should not be anything. So all this is connecting back to the first verse. Everything was contained in the first verse. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Shunya means zero. The only thing that should exist is anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. That is the only thing that should exist, which means Krishna's pleasure, not our pleasure. So pleasing Krishna is the goal, isn't it? So let me ask you a question. What does pleasing Krishna mean? Krishna is already fully happy and blissful. Do you think he has any problems? Is he sad? So what does it mean that you have to do something to give Krishna happiness, to please him? What does it mean? Any answers? Krishna is already happy.
Incessant worship.
Uttama Bhakti.
Okay.
Incessant worship.
All right, but how do you think your worship is making him more happy? Is he less happy without your worship?
No, he wants ever to be with devotees.
Okay. Yes, Mansi Ganga Mataji. Okay.
I think Krishna wants us to be happy, Prabhuji. Like we know that this material is full of miseries, and living in it, we cannot be happy here. It is a temporary, even though if we are having happiness.
Okay. Then Midha Mataji.
Yeah, Krishna wants us to totally surrender to him. Total Sharanagati. Depend on him for everything.
So I am not asking why Krishna wants us to serve him. I am saying from purely our standpoint. Let us, we don't understand what is there in Krishna's mind. But a bhakta loves Krishna. For whatever reason, he loves Krishna. But he knows that Krishna is not really in need of anything. He is already fully happy. He is Satchid Ananda, full of Ananda. So from a devotee's standpoint, from a bhakta standpoint, he's thinking, he's full of Ananda. How can I give him more happiness? Or what does it mean to please him? He's already pleased. That is the question.
Give him your love. He needs the prema of the bhakta.
All right. Okay. Damodar Krishna Prabhu. Yes, there's no right answer. I'm just kind of causing this thought process in your mind.
Prabhuji, it's me. Prabhuji, so Krishna, so Krishna doesn't want our service, but being part and parcel of Krishna, if we serve Krishna, Krishna will get pleasure, because being a child, if a child serve a father, then father will get pleased.
All right, very nice. So the nice point you mentioned is that you said Krishna doesn't want our service. I just want to say a better way to say it is Krishna doesn't need our service. Maybe he wants it.
Okay.
He doesn't need it. All right. Sai Prabhu has his hand up, and let's see, Krishna wants to relate with us and feel pleasure of loving relationship with us. When we offer him our heart, it pleases him. Yeah, he doesn't need it, but he's very pleased by our love. He's following us as Paramatma eternally. So isn't he anxious for us and him to be reunited in loving relationship? He says in Brhad Bhagavatamrta to Gopakumar. Very nice. So yes, all of you are giving the right answer, or almost, or even I'm not sure there is any right answer. So first of all, what it is not to please Krishna is not that just the knowledge. It's not the jnana that, oh, Krishna is always fully pleased. He's fully blissful. That knowledge gives me happiness, and it gives Krishna happiness because I am happy, or anything like that. Jnana is not enough. That Krishna is supremely blissful. There needs to be some activity. So one of the things that one can do, that even if at least to have this consciousness, Krishna doesn't need any active seva. He may want it, but he doesn't need it. From a devotee standpoint, one can have this consciousness that even if Krishna is fully happy right now, I will do something to increase his happiness. Or if not increase, to make sure it doesn't diminish. But what can I do? And always this example of Hanumanji, that story that I shared, try to use that or try to think like that. What can I do? If Lord Ram wants to yawn, he could have used his own fingers. Obviously, he could have done that. Or some other devotee would have run and done that for him. But Hanumanji said, okay, that service is not taken, I will take it. So somehow or the other, having that consciousness that how can I add to Krishna's pleasure? That consciousness itself is what the devotee's Sewa is. Just having the consciousness. This is known as Manasi Sewa. Where did I write that? Yes, later. It could even just be Manasi Sewa, Sewa in the mind. To desire for Krishna's happiness, to simply think of him. Okay? So that consciousness itself is the Sewa, at a minimum. And then we can do more. So I am prompting this question because we are getting to that kind of a section in the Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. How to do bhakti? Bhakti is what? Now we have said bhakti, true bhakti is Sewa to Bhagavan. So how to do Sewa? What is the meaning of Sewa? Does Krishna need Sewa? What kind of Sewa to do? What is Anukul? What is favorable? What is Pratikul? What is not favorable? How do we know all this? And now to answer that question, very soon, within about 15, 10, 12 verses more, Sri Rupa Goswami will spend almost 200 verses, 200, on how to do bhakti. Or rather, the 64 limbs, the 64 possible ways of doing bhakti. He will give 60, and he starts by saying there are unlimited ways of doing bhakti. Unlimited. I am giving the prominent 64. Now, clicking your finger in front of the Lord is not one of them. But Hanumanji thought it is a valid Sewa, and that is fine. So it counts as one of the unlimited ones. Okay? But he has given 64 primary limbs of bhakti to Lord Krishna. So that section is going to come up very soon, and this whole thing is gearing up towards that how to do Sewa. So this whole thing is coming up now. So in the up to 52nd verse, we discussed the evidence. Now we are going into how to do the Sewa. But before that, the main point I wanted to put in your mind is that Sewa is an integral part of bhakti. And today, yeah, I think we still, it's already 6:36. Oh my God. Let's go into one more slide after this, and then we'll call it a day. I thought we'll cover more ground. But Sewa with love. So let's come to that. Okay. So in this verse, Kunti Maharani thinks, I am a woman. And this is, of course, when Lord Shri Krishna was present and all that. And she's thinking like, what can I do? My sons, 5 sons, they can do so much for Krishna. They are men, they are kshatriyas, they can do, lot of activity. I am an old woman. How can I do Sewa? Valid question, isn't it? We can also think, somebody may think, hey, I'm sitting in a village. I don't have any means. I don't have this. There are so many things which we can think. Like Hanumanji would have thought, oh, all the Sewa is taken up. What Sewa is left? They took up all the Sewa, left nothing for me. Still, he found something. So here it is being quoted, how can a old woman do some Sewa? Another very nice verse, this verse, 1.7.10 is known as the Atmaram verse, where on the complete opposite side, one side is an old woman, Kunti Maharani. On the other side is a young boy, 16-year-old boy, Shukadeva Goswami. And he is a pure devotee as well. And on the other hand, he's fully self-realized. He really understands that Lord Krishna is Satchidananda. He doesn't need any seva. He fully understands it. Doesn't it? Isn't it? He is completely self-realized soul, Shukadeva Goswami. Do you think he has any misunderstanding that Lord Krishna needs any seva? No. He knows that the Lord is fully self-satisfied. Okay? How does he perform seva? That is the aspect Rupa Goswami is bringing out in this verse. There are many aspects. There are several meanings of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given so many meanings of this one verse. One of the meanings is, how does a self-realized person, completely self-realized person like Shukadeva Goswami, do seva to Bhagavan? Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Kurvanti Ahitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. So what it means is that Atma Ramascha Munayo, somebody who is Atma Ram, self-satisfied, Atma Ram, he is happy, always is in bliss. That is the situation of Shukadeva Goswami. Cha Munayo, such people, such munis who are completely self-realized, Nirgrantha api urukrame, that they are nirgrantha, they are not tied by any entanglements of this material world. However strong those entanglements they may be, urukrame. So they are not entangled in the material world. They are completely free. Kurvanti ahitukim bhaktim, they also do bhakti to Bhagavan, even though they may be fully self-realized. Itham bhuta guno hari, such are the sweet gunas, the sweet qualities of Lord Hari. That the Lord Hari is so sweet that even the most self-realized person also wants to do some ahituki bhakti. Bhakti also in this context means seva of Bhagavan. So what did Shukadeva Goswami do in this context? He first heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva. So hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is also seva. And then he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, which is also seva bhakti. So even though he is fully self-realized, very relishingly, he Shuka Mukhad api, what is that? Rasamalayam. Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam.
Nigama kalpataro. Sukha Mukhat.
Amrita Dravya Samyutam. That this whole Srimad Bhagavatam is like a Rasamalayam, and it became sweeter when it came out from the mouth of Shukadeva Goswami. So that is what Shukadeva Goswami did as an act of bhakti. All right. So final slide for today. So in these next two verses, Sri Rupa Goswami is presenting this point of the potential rejection of personal liberation. That a devotee, we have already discussed this, rejects personal liberation if there is no seva. Remember that? So, although the 5 types of liberation have been described as worthy of rejection, these 4, Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, and Sarupya, are not completely contradictory to bhakti. That is what is said by Sri Rupa Goswami. They are not completely contradictory. They are contradictory, but they are not completely. Why not completely? Because you can do some seva while getting this kind of liberation. But in the Sayujya Mukti, where you become one with the Lord, then there is no seva. So these 4 are potentially okay. Potentially okay. So why is he saying they are not completely contradictory? Because the motivation is the difference. And the word that is used here, I will fast forward here, Prema Seva Uttara. Uttara means for the purpose of. For the purpose of Prema Seva. Seva arising from Prema. So let me just go back here. Seva arising from Prema should be the only motivation. If that is the only motivation to go to a liberation, to go to Salokya, Samipya, etc., then it is conducive. Otherwise, it is not conducive. So, Ekatvam, Jiva Goswami says, Ekatva or personal liberation is always without seva. So, devotees outright, they reject it. So, and then he gives the reasoning in the next verse that there are two varieties of these four types of liberation. One which is motivated by desire for happiness, Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. One may desire to get liberation for personal, for self. I will get permanent happiness, eternal happiness. If that is the case, the first variety is not accepted by those who are inclined to do seva for the Lord. The second category is okay. What is the second category? Those who are having a desire for prema seva uttara, or they have the uttara or the inclination for prema seva. So now we are adding to seva another word, prema seva. Seva that you do not by force, not to make yourself look good, not to show off to others, not for any reason, but simply for prema for Bhagavan. That should be the only reason. Okay? So, the point here is that the topmost way of doing Vaidhi Bhakti is to find a seva which you genuinely love to do for the Lord. It is not for your pleasure. If you are a musician and you like to sing various tunes and you become happy on singing those tunes, then there is a little problem. The point is that you should try to find a seva that you really want to do to please Bhagavan. And then start doing it. Now, it may come from various angles. It may come from an angle that seva nobody else is doing, it is missing, it is needed, so I will do it. Or it could come because, let us say, there are many seva opportunities. You have a particular talent, you have a particular inclination to a particular seva, you do it. But there should be absolutely no inclination to do it for your own satisfaction. Your pleasure should not be a part of it. It should only be for love, to express your love for Krishna. And try to find such a seva. So if in today's class, if you have learned one big topic today, it should be seva. The way to do bhakti is to do seva arising from prema. So Krishna seva out of prema is topmost. That is today's main point. If liberation allows or enables such seva, then it is acceptable. Otherwise, it is not. Or liberation is too far away for us. If any activity that we are doing, anything that we are doing, if it allows us to do seva for Bhagavan out of love, out of prema, take it up. Regardless, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Okay? And it goes back to that main point that we discussed earlier, which was Smartavya Satatam Vishnur Vismartavya Na Jatuchit. Always try to remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And somehow or the other, always remain engaged in seva. Tasmat kena pi upayena manah Krishna niveshayet. Always engage your mind in Krishna. Through seva, through activity. Remember, sadhan bhakti is through your senses, through your sense organs, through your activity. Mind is also a sense organ, but you are not in a jail. You are not like Vasudev, where your sense organs have been restricted. So try to do some seva for Bhagavan, but out of prema, not to show off to others, not to show off to yourself, not for any reason other than for love of Krishna. Okay, so that is the main message for today. And of course, all the moksha and everything we discussed, but that is only to show that it is not for ourselves. It's not for our happiness, it is for Krishna's pleasure. So try to think, what will please Krishna? What can I do to make his pleasure continue or to increase his pleasure? And do it with zero attachment for self. That is the message for today. Then next week onward, next week no class. His Holiness Romapad Maharaj is coming. So he will be doing a series of classes. So we will have that. So we will meet in 2 weeks. But then we will go into another very, very important point before we go into the 64 limbs of bhakti. And that will be a very deep discussion. And again, it will be for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is now we are going to go into a particular discussion like we discussed in Nectar of Instruction, the last 3 verses, about the Mahima of Radha Kunda. So similarly, we will compare the position of Lord Krishna with Lord Vishnu. Now, some people may get offended by this, that, oh, you know, Krishna and Vishnu. And I will try my best to explain it in a proper way, in a way that I am a very, very, I feel I have a lot of regard in my heart for the Vishnu form of the Lord. Now, Vishnu and Krishna are not different. They are one and the same. So what really is the difference? And to understand that and that whole topic, we will try to unpack next time before going into the 64 limbs of bhakti. So that is what is coming up in the future. So please stay tuned. All right, so that is the discussion for today. Any questions at this point or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Generally, we say that moksha is not the final achievement of devotees. But in Gajendra story, moksha is very much stressed. Gajendra moksha only we call it.
Yes, but moksha has 5 different meanings. Sayujya is only one of them. And Salokya, Samipya, Sarishti, and Sarupya are the 4 other different types of moksha. So the first thing to understand is, what does moksha mean? Moksha means freedom or liberation or leave something behind. Moksha means to get rid of something. So liberation or getting rid of what? That is moksha. So getting rid of this material entanglement is the moksha aspect of the word moksha. That is the liberation aspect. Then what next is not defined by the word moksha. That the word moksha leaves it open. It leaves it completely open. Okay. So even though we call it Gajendra moksha, Gajendra did not get Sayujya moksha. He did not get impersonal liberation. So in that context, moksha is not used as an impersonal liberation for Gajendra. It is used as a personal liberation because moksha is a broad term. All right. On the contrary, for example, Shishupal, we discussed, I think, Shishupal, he got Sayujya moksha. He merged into the body of Lord Krishna. Very clearly, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is Sayujya moksha. But for example, there are other devotees who went to the spiritual abode, who went to one of the Vaikuntha planets. And all the examples that we discussed today are in that category. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right.
I understood.
Anything else? Sai Prabhu, did I answer your question about... Okay, so you said yes, thanks. Great. Yes, Ramakant Prabhu?
Actually, I'm confused when we say that Kartik Mas is very auspicious month. And in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Masanam Markshishoham. So then what is the difference between Kartik Mas and the Markshish Mas? So not necessarily today. I want this clarification.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita is a broad scripture. Okay. And Lord Krishna, when he spoke Bhagavad Gita, he spoke definitely about bhakti, but he wanted the Bhagavad Gita to be applicable to a very broad category of Vaishnavas. Okay, even the impersonalists, and as you can see, probably more impersonalists read Bhagavad Gita than personalists. What to speak of various other categories of people. Now, Kartik Mas or Kartik month especially is very dear to Krishna Bhaktas, for devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is obviously saying Maam Ekam Sharanam Vraja or Maam Upaishyasi. So obviously he's talking about him. But the various acharyas that have given commentaries, and the main acharya who has given commentary on Bhagavad Gita is Sridhar Swami. And the line of thought that they have taken is not, I mean, again, you know, we are all doing Krishna Bhakti, and this shouldn't deviate anybody from Krishna Bhakti. But the appeal of Bhagavad Gita is more than to just those who are approaching the Supreme Lord in the form of Shri Krishna. So saying it to be Kartik month would have been a sort of a more specific to Lord Shri Krishna versus to make it more broad. So that is the reason of not mentioning Kartik Mas as the topmost month. But for those who read or those who see which is the most auspicious or the most dear month specifically to Lord Shri Krishna, it will be the Kartik month. Okay. So Lord Krishna is leaving the door open for other people who have faith in other forms of Lord Krishna, like Lord Vishnu, Lord Narsingha, Lord Rama, etc., to also approach Bhagavad Gita with faith. He's leaving that door open.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. I don't see any more hands or anything else on the chat. So we will conclude here today, and we will meet in 2 weeks to continue our Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank
Hare
you
Krishna
so much.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you.